Hello and welcome to the evaluation of my TRC Media Awards products. The scenario for this task meant that I'd been commissioned by the TRC Media Awards to develop a range of publicity products. Before I began thinking up some designs, I wanted to find out more about the awards. The TRC Media Awards have been a prestigious event for staff and students for the last 7 years and has always been held at the Showroom Cinema in Sheffield. At first, the awards just celebrated the work of AS and A2 media students, but since expanded to BTEC, GCSE and Film Studies courses. We had the option to create two of the following products: a publicity poster to advertise the event, certificates to be given to those who won, invitations to send to those people who were invited, or a DVD case or label design for the published video of the event. My final decision was to create a publicity poster and a DVD label. Before I started to create some ideas, I thought it was important to establish who the target audience for these products would be. My products would need to be suitable for TRC students, both media and film students at 16 to 19 years old, as well as TRC staff and their parents or carers. My main source of inspiration when doing my research into my chosen products was the visual discovery website Pinterest. I used Pinterest to create a mood board which contained various designs that I liked aspects of to include in my own products. This is one of the images that I came across during my research. It was also one of my favourite that inspired me the most. This 1960s poster for a European Film Festival incorporates a film reel and typography, which I found interesting as a film reel connotes what film and media is all about. I wanted to use a similar colour scheme as well, so I decided on these two colours. The deep red was used mainly to connote the red carpet used at award ceremonies, and the white was used to make it contrast and make the red colour appear bolder. Next, I had to plan the production of these products. My plan was to research similar products, begin to create them using the process of lino cutting, manipulate my design using Photoshop, have them professionally printed in the Riba Graphics department, and then I would finally have my finished products. The process of lino cutting involved various pieces of equipment, which was a lino roller, a cutting block, cutting handle, pen, and various cutting tools that were attached to the handle to cut the sheet of lino. The short video shows the recording of me cutting and inking my first film reel design. To begin with, I started out with my piece of lino, shaped to cut around, my cutting handle and various different tools. Started by drawing around the CD, so I had a basic shape to go along with. Now, because this was the basic shape of my design, I decided to cut out the circle as I wouldn't need any other shapes around it. This was quite hard as the lino can be quite thick, however it was achievable. I then weighed it up against a template to ensure it fit, and then added the middle circle. Next, I used a bottle top to add the other circles inside my film reel. Now, originally I did want to create 6, however the shape I made was too small, so I thought I could always manipulate this on Photoshop later on in the design process. So I started by using a small cutting tool to make the outline of the circles. This created a little pathway for me to get in with a bigger gauge to be able to cut out the circles and eventually get all the way down to the bottom. And this was quite a lengthy process, as you'll see. Simply because the lino was quite tough and it did take quite a while to go all the way through. Now eventually, once I added the ink and rolled it over, I got my design in the end. Then I scanned it into Photoshop, where I was able to neaten the edges and make the colour more consistent, and I also added in a 6th circle. After adding layers of text and adding colour, this is the final design that I came up with for the DVD label. I decided to use this as my final design because I thought the consistent typography looked intriguing and creative, and the shape of the film reel meant that it would suit the shape of a DVD very well. The use of various fonts also made the keywords stand out, and it's personal to TRC as a college, and as I said I have kept the deep red throughout the design. To begin creating the publicity poster, I added a lens flare to the film reel. As with the DVD label design, I used Photoshop to add the text layers to make the publicity poster. As I mentioned, I incorporated a lens flare into the film reel design and created a brand identity by using the same text and fonts as the DVD label and the same film reel. The title of the poster is purposely oversized and goes off the edges of the page to connote the grand scale of the event, and in contrast, a more formal font is used for the information about the event. As with the previous product, the same deep red colour has also been used. When designing these products, I had to keep in mind what the meaning of them would be. They needed to be simple yet effective, informative and interesting. That's the manifesto that I worked on. To expand on this meaning, the use of typography meant that basic, sometimes boring words can be seen in a more positive and creative way, and reminds us of all the various aspects of the media industry. Film reels, lens flares and the use of deep red were all used to connote various different things, such as the prestigious red carpet used at award ceremonies, and the flashing lights and cameras used in both media production and the media awards themselves. The lighting in these products needed to be bright, vibrant and sharp. This connotes the brightness and vibrancy of award ceremonies themselves. The use of space was maximised in most areas and there was little empty room. There was slight random composition with the flow of text changing direction and a lot of fonts used. The techniques I used during the process of making these products was digital printing, desktop publishing and manual printing. So what have I learned during this process? When using Photoshop, I discovered the usefulness of layers, the importance of recording fonts, colours and sizes of anything that you're going to use, and that they're very easy methods to cutting out aspects of images. I found layers to be a valuable tool as they allow you to stay organised within a piece of work, as you have more control over elements of your image and your design. It's also much easier to arrange the order of elements within your image so text can be brought forwards or sent backwards quite easily, and you're also able to hide elements that you aren't working with, which allows you to focus on what you want to work with. I learned that it's also important to record the formatting that you're going to create, as it helps to maintain a consistent theme, as matching colours can be sometimes quite time consuming with the eyedropper. It also helps with research and evaluation when you're able to identify the fonts that you have actually used. I've also learned how to use the Magic Wand tool correctly, which became quick and easy, as well as a great alternative to the eraser or quick selection tool. Mechanical printing was something that I also learnt a lot about as well. It's something I've never done before. I learned that it mainly requires skill and preparation, and that you should always think designs through before you go ahead with them. It's also a lot harder than it looks, but the results can be quite rewarding as you've done it by hand. It's also a very dangerous task as it becomes very easy to cut yourself when you go in the wrong direction. And that was my evaluation of my TRC media products.